Okay, yep. Okay, here we are. It's looking a little different the way I have to share this time. Excuse me. So I don't have to restart a whole stream again like I did last time. I can actually share it. So I want to do a sound check for everybody else. For Richard, say something.
Very, very good.
All right, can you guys hear him? Just double check in the comment section. Yep. Thumbs up. All hail woo woo, dude. Okay. All hail woo
I
woo, dude.
love that person.
The funny thing is, uh, like, so many people say that now. It's like, all hail woo woo, dude. Like, man, it just came out of nowhere, and now I just use it. So that's how we roll. Um, I wonder if I hang on a second. If just to block that stupid thing.
Oh, look at that. Oh, you're handsome. There you go.
Yeah, but everyone else can't see that. They only see me. So I'm just gonna
Oh,
try to do a little trickery here to see if this makes it a little bit better. Actually, it does. Yeah, that'll. I think that'll work. Okay. All right. So, where do we begin? Um.
I'll let you start that one.
Yeah. Let's. Well, there's one thing that I had today. Man, my throat is this guy Dana, Pastor Dana. This guy's interesting, but something
Ouch.
woo woo dude told us about a few months ago, and it already happened, and now it's again happening again in Kansas. People in Kansas are cleaning up after softball size hail caused major damage across Jewell County Friday night. This is, I mean, this is today, posted August 21st. So, you had mentioned you'll see hail that you could use two hands to pick up. And, I mean, yeah, he's got a couple of these in one hand, but those are big. I mean, a kid could easily put one of those in two of his hands. Not that it really matters. I mean, that's just massive size hail. So you had told us about that, quite a while ago, and I seen this guy Dana. He had done a video a while back, a few months ago actually. Started making its rounds around the internet. I think it got up to over 1 million views, where he's talking about this prophetic dream he got from God, and he saw UN troops on U.S. soil, and and I've heard that before, but my biggest thing has always been, if I'm seeing UN troops here, it's probably because of an emergency situation, not because they're going to try to like take over. Our military and the people wouldn't stand for that. But if we had a major catastrophe, maybe a comet breaking apart or an asteroid or something or whatever, in that case, I could see, okay, we do need some outside help too. FEMA's not enough, That might make sense to me. But this guy had mentioned this in his dream, and this is from a few days ago. So this is a new video, and I'd say up in about 7 or 8 minutes, he pretty much tells what he got in his latest vision or dream that he says from God. And after that, there's nothing else relevant. So I've got it set to play a little bit faster. Maybe it'll get done in like 5 minutes. And I want everybody to hear this. So I'm gonna mute my mic, or else it'll end up picking it up. So I'm gonna mute it both places. Did you hear what I just played?
Yes.
You heard it?
Yeah.
They can't hear it though. All right, so let's see. Okay, I need to play that. All right, give me a second, everybody. Headphones. Okay. Let me do a quick little test on this one. Can't hear that either. Alright, I just need to switch something so everybody can hear it. I don't know if you're going to hear it though. Let's find out.
There's been some concerns from my family because of the dreams I posted. People showing up at my door who then get arrested in my community for being violent. A lot of emails, a lot of phone calls, a lot of messages. I'm not doing this for notoriety. I'm not getting paid to do this. Had a dream. Simply had a dream. And I'm sharing them because there are things that God, I believe, is showing me that the country needs to see. So I'm just going to share this, and you can do with it what you want. I'm not asking God to give me, I've not prayed God give me another dream since I had the first one. They keep coming. And so I dreamt I was in the month of October. I saw the month of October as a calendar and was waving like it was being blown by a strong wind, not a fitful wind, not violent, just kind of a fitful wind, you know. And I saw a finger appear, and it pointed to the second week of October, and it dragged the finger through the third week of the month. So it covered second and third week of October. And then it pointed October 31st, and it held the position. It just kind of tapped it and held it. The first thing I saw was a rock. It came flying out of the sky, and it landed in a large pond. And the ripples started off small, but then they became like vicious waves. Like when the wind begins to blow stronger, and the ripples start to go further out. I saw federally elected officials, faces I recognize. I saw specific state governors, I saw agency leaders, and I saw just radicals, like the people you'd see in Portland or Seattle or Minneapolis. But they had wicks coming out of their head, almost like a firecracker wick, like a firework wick. And the second week of October is when I saw simultaneously all those wicks coming out of their heads were lit on fire. Federal officials had heads that were the shape of like an old M80. Those folks from the 70s and 80s remember those. The governors had heads shaped like the Black Cat firecrackers, the 1.5, 2-inch firecrackers. Everybody else had the smaller, like ladyfinger style firecracker fireworks. And these people are talking, and they're starting to get animated. They're yelling, they're screaming. The facial images went from normal and calm to red face, jumping to an absolute out of your mind primal scream. And everybody's head blew up at the same time. These people were still alive, but their heads had blown up. And this resulted in sparks and debris flying all over the area where they were standing, and it started fires around them. And then I saw the protests that were taking place, that were still taking place in October.
Hello, everyone. I have something to ask you. Will you add your name to join my campaign?
They went up another notch because the bystanders who were part of the protests and that were there, that were not being very, very violent and not really getting us involved, the protesters basically said, if you're not doing that, you're not one of us. And they began to assault those protesters who were not deemed as violent or as vicious as they should be. And I saw some of those protesters left on the side of the road, almost like they were dead. They'd been beaten because they weren't protesting like the other ones were. They weren't doing all those things that they should have done. If they weren't complicit, they were beat on. I saw the elderly people, and this is what got me. I saw elderly people being attacked. It was an attack on older Americans, the people that hold the Constitution dear, the flag dear, the people that have the common sense values, commitment to faith and biblical principles. I even saw people trying to get into nursing homes and nursing facilities to attack older people. That I saw in the dream. And then I saw a $100 bill, a big $100 bill about the size of a flag. It was hanging like a flag on a pole, and it was burning from one corner. And it was being lowered, like at the end of the day. And I saw people with their hands over their hearts, and they were crying because their god of money was just being lowered. It had lost its value. And it burned until there was about a third of it left. It was a celebration. People were celebrating. While some Americans were just devastated and torn up by what they saw happening, there were people celebrating that the dollar had died. It was dying, the value of the American dollar. There was someone even playing taps in the background. And then I saw churches, small groups of people kneeling and praying. They were wrestling in prayer with the spirit of the age. These people were protected by bubbles of safety. There were angels guarding around them. And these were the faithful core of the church that had not been compromised in their values and their faith. They were being encouraged to stand strong. They were being encouraged to keep preaching, praying, believing. And there were relentless attacks against them. Just like the ones I saw in the September drain. There was just relentless attacks against them. They stayed faithful. They were in the heat of the battle. They were praying. They were fighting. They were wrestling. Like I said, with the spirit of the age, but they were fighting to stay faithful. And there were very few in numbers, but that didn't bother them. And I saw behind each of these people praying, I saw a small gate. And I was reminded of Matthew 7, 13 and 14. Enter by the narrow gate. Enter by the small road. They never stood up, even though they'd walked through that gate. They were right there beside it. Then I saw puffed up pastors, and I saw puffed up prophets. Very expensive suits. And they were preaching against the idea of persecution coming. They promised prosperity. They promised health and wealth and only good things. And they spoke like their words, as they spoke, their words were like they were slurred, like they were drunk. And suddenly their clothes were coming off. Their tie was loosened and taken off. Their shirt was taken off. Pretty soon they were standing there completely naked. And I saw this rug pulled out from underneath them, and they go flying up in the air. They're trying to cover their modesty while they're up in the air. But as they were floating there, I saw money flying out. I saw money flying out from them. All the money that they'd gotten from all the prophecies and ministries and things they'd done selfishly. I saw that money just kind of flying. But when they landed on the ground, this is another thing that just really got me. When they landed on the ground, all of them that landed on the ground, that were all puffed up, bit through their tongues as they landed. And pieces of those tongues went flying. And they were trying to reach out to grab them, but they were beyond their reach. I was reminded of the story of the emperor's new clothes. They were exposed. And then the scene went back to those that were praying, and the warfare was still tense, but the present strength was obvious in those that were praying. And then it switched to one last scene. I saw clowns in suits, like circus clowns, and they were pouring buckets of oil and grease on the ground in front of election venues. And the signs, elections so many days away, weeks away. But these clowns were dancing and acting like clowns. They were juggling, and there were people trying to get to vote, but they were slipping. They were sliding past the doors, and they couldn't get in to vote. And the clowns were actually trying to distract these people from doing what they were supposed to do. And they were doing it in a professional way. They were juggling, but they were doing skits. But the skits were sinister, and they were abusive. And they watched anybody approaching the ballot, well, not the ballot box, but approaching the venue, the building where they were going to vote. They looked at them with suspicion and angst. They were doing everything they could to keep people from voting. They were trying to distract them from what was going on. And then I saw this big billboard. And it said, Passover 2021. Big things are coming for the world. Big things are coming for the world. And that white figure appeared. And he said, do not stop bracing, for the storm will not pass until I stop the storm. So brace yourselves. And don't look back.
You hear me? All right. Right. Honestly, I don't know.
I had my one mic muted while I was playing that. So basically what I just said was, in the beginning of this video, he talks about a rock hitting a pond and it rippling, the water, big ripples, one thing. And then another thing towards the end of the video, or I guess it was still towards the end, was about this flag, this dollar being represented. You guys should still hear me now.
I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. You guys good? Okay, it's good. Yeah, it's about 10-second delay. Okay, it's good. So the other thing this guy just said was the flag, U.S. flag, burning as it's being lowered, representing the dollar, and only a third of it was left, the flag. So I took that as our dollar is devalued from where it's at by, 2/3 basically, because there's a 1/3 of it left. So the other side of that, theoretically anyways, gold and silver should go up 2 to 3 times based on that value. And crypto would go, I mean, it should do the same thing, honestly. Any real asset. So that's interesting. And then he finalized that talking about the storm that, God, I guess, is bringing. Brace, brace, brace for the storm. And don't stop racing until I, give the all clear, basically. And he talked about Passover 2021. So I was asking you guys if I'm not going to go look it up, but do you guys know what day Passover is on 2021? I'll just wait for one of you guys to comment in the chat section, just so I have an idea. Because if that's what he's saying, then it's just going to get progressively worse, most likely until that time. And woo woo dude Rich here has been telling us, especially me. I mean, I'll say, he's been telling us, but he's been telling me personally. Last week of March, someone said last week of March. So that's better than I was thinking. Could it be September? Last week of March. That's not too bad of a wait. Okay. So hopefully, whatever happens ends by then. But you had been telling us, and I'm asking you right off the bat. Well, do you think I could go back to New Mexico? Like, and you're like, I'm like, anytime in June, maybe the end of June. You're like, yeah, I don't think so. All right, we got halfway through June. What about July? It's not looking real good. I don't think you're going back this year. You're telling me, and I'm like, I want to go back so bad, And you're like, yeah, I'm not seeing it. So, and I'm thinking that even now, like today, I'm like, well, October, November-ish, maybe there'll be a chance to go, or maybe late September. I'm like, who are you kidding? Who am I kidding? Everything you've told me, like, this is pretty much why you're not going, and that's happening. So what this guy's talking about, people rioting, wicks as firecracker heads exploding and fury and all that, like, yeah, I mean, I can't be 1,600 miles away or whatever the hell it is, when that's going on. I there's no way. So, like you had mentioned, I'm preparing to stay put. RV with the generator, all that stuff. I have at the shop right now, just having them completely go over everything. I'm like, just tell me, whatever, even little things, anything. So they gave me a list of not much, but enough. I'm like, do it all. Do it. I want this thing in, as Trump would say, I want it in tippy top shape, tippy top. So, do you? I mean, again, you've talked about bodies from space coming by, asteroid things hitting potentially. A lot of it most likely will, or could be, I shouldn't say most likely will, but could be, have an intervention by our friends. And it looks like they've done some of that already. I've had a few people send me videos, even recently. Another one they sent me of a big fireball coming in the sky, and it almost looks like it just explodes, and the light just completely dies. And I'm like, it almost looked like it was hit by something really fast. And this was in our atmosphere already coming in. And I'm like, oh, that was interesting. As soon as whatever that was, it looked like it just took a hit, and then just instantly the fireball was gone. Like not even a fragment or a piece of it like fizzling out. Just instantly, the whole light stopped. And I'm like, wow, how strange is that? Like I'd expect it to at least do a little something, and just like almost like he flipped the switch and then the light went out of this flying, piece of space rock, whatever that was coming in that someone had filmed. And I've had a few people say, well, this time of the year is like asteroid time anyway. So I'm like, I don't know. And I've been talking about that movie Greenland, about this asteroid belt we go through, and he's trying to find his way to safety. It was supposed to be out in America, I think August 13th. I had my calendar reminder, and it popped up. I went to go look at it. It's like, no, they're pushing it out a month. And I don't know if because sales are way down, movie theaters are closed or what, but I just wanted to see it just because I like seeing what Hollywood has in store for us. But I don't think it matters anyway. So, what do you think? You getting any new downloads on any of this stuff lately? Anything?
Well, the biggest thing is many, many people right now are getting dreams, without a doubt. The biggest issue with that, as you know, Joe, with how you've been training, is the discernment of what you're getting. Now, you've had a lot of spiritual things now occurring to you in real life that you're really paying attention to. And like I told you, that 3 or 4 months from now, when I started working with you, that you would not be the same person. And I guess we can probably say that. And, today a very strange thing happened to me. And I've told many people that I read, when you get sequences of numbers that come at you, 333, 111, whatever they may be, okay, it's not the issue about what does the number mean. What it is spirit is trying to get you onto a frequency that you acknowledge it. Now today, some of this shit you can't make up, Joe. Today I'm driving to get some things done down to Manchester, which is more of a city for us up here. And so what happens? Right at a stoplight, I look and 111 shows up. I go, okay, I know any bit of news you give me today and information is going to be very important, and I need to put it together. Okay, I know the protocol. So I leave the intersection, and I probably travel 200 feet down, and a blackbird smashes into the side of my window.
Oh, like my owl.
Took him. Well, he wasn't moving, and nor was I going to go back to check on him. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. But I recognize that this was very, very important for them to go out of their way to do this with me, considering they could talk to me anytime they want. I go, okay, important things are coming my way today. Pay attention. All right. So as I progressed it throughout the day, very uneasiness with me to a point that, I went back to a town I used to live in, Londonderry, and the anxiety that was over me was just mind-boggling. Just, I got to get out of here, So I start heading north, and everything I could think of kept getting in my way. Problems after problems after problems. So I finally get up towards Hillsborough, and I'm driving, and right behind me, I'm looking. I says, "That's a coincidence." A Hummer, a couple of big trucks right behind me. Funny, I didn't notice them. And then I go by. Oh yeah, military. And then I go by the they right in Hillsborough. They have what do you National Guard? I guess you call it. Right. The place is always empty. Always. As I'm driving by, I look. There's a line coming out of the street, loaded to the gills with trucks. And I'm looking at all the cars all around and all the soldiers. I go, okay, I know this is important. All right. So you got to put things together. So,
That was today.
oh yeah, yeah, this was just a few hours ago. So I I get home and I says, okay, let me watch something mindless for a little while that I can laugh at and enjoy. And
Did
what
you turn
comes
on my?
on?
Did you turn me on?
I really I was looking for Joe Dirt, but I couldn't find him.
Well, you could just add a little e at the end of my name, and it's Joe Dierte. You know.
Hey Joe, you've got fans in the stands, dude. I'm telling you, okay, from South Africa to Switzerland to Germany, I'm telling you, you get around,
Yeah, it's
okay.
funny all these people who get readings from you lately, from all over the world.
Oh, I mean literally all over the world. But you know what? I can say this about them, Joe. They're just like you and I. They're very loving, caring people, and they're going through the same things that we're going through. Everything you see here is a phenomenon. This is worldwide. Now, before I start going, you know how I could get down a rabbit hole? I'm going to reel myself back and go back to what happened today. So I went by the National Guard. So I get home, turn the TV on for some mindless stuff. What's on? The the Kingsman. I know you've watched the Kingsman.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, it's like a special group of individuals that go out and save the world all the time. All right, so I'm watching that, and the episode it's Kingsman 2, and the episode is right when I turn it on that everybody's head was exploding. Like, what did you just listen to?
Fireworks.
Astounding. Again, you could go, oh, well, that's a coincidence. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. When you bring everything together, okay, even the way I was feeling, it's like, okay, all right, you know, things are getting really close right now, and things are really starting to happen. From the explosions all over the world to the incomings that are happening to the weather systems.
Yeah,
Now, I know
there's two storms coming up the Gulf Coast.
oh,
Big,
there's going to be so many more,
hurricane type
Joe.
storms.
You know, you and I have been talking now for 4 months. So there's a lot of things that I've told you, and I'm sure to this day you'd say, you know, there's no way to prove it to a lot of the fans in the
Yeah, they just
stands.
have to take my word for it.
It is what it is. But everything is happening, and the compression of time is actually happening, just like they said it was going to. Time is being squeezed. I don't know how they're doing it, but they are. And every time you think that you got through one thing, another thing will come upon us. But going back to the person's dream there, okay, when he said, I saw everybody's tongue get cut off, right? And there's tongues all over the place. So, you know, with your ability, with your intuition, what do you think that meant?
Well, he was talking about the church and these basically wicked, fake pastors, if you will, that have squandered their money from the congregation and just enriched themselves. So when I heard him talking about that, what came to my mind is, you know, maybe in Bible speak, thou with this wicked tongue, uh, they got it chopped off because their words that they've been speaking all this time, leading people down the wrong path, lying about everything, taking their money. They lost all their money because he said he saw that picture of their money flying out of their pockets. And then when they landed, their tongue was chopped. Like, you're being silenced now because you've done enough damage. Like, you're not going to be able to speak anymore. That's people will wake up.
Yeah,
They're not. You're going to lose it all, basically. Not that it can't speak, but people aren't going to want to hear you speak because they're going to figure out what just happened and you're finished.
right. And in these times, as they've told me, that there's many creatures hiding underneath the rocks. And when you showed Joe Biden earlier, I kind of laughed.
But no, that
Okay,
was just an ad that came up.
But the thing is there's no coincidences. And a lot of this, with the tongues being cut off, in other words, you're not able to speak, or your mouth is covered.
Yep.
Okay, where are we seeing that? And trying to understand some of the discernment that this fella. See, I could go into his thing, but the problem is most people that I talk to are not trained to really put the heavy discernment into it. It's like when I'm doing a reading, is they'll show me things and tell me things, and then when I tell a client, I don't change a word, not a word or a description, because you change one word, it changes everything. So this fella who's talking, for me to put a lot of discernment into it, I can't, because I wasn't the person to hear the words. Do you know what I'm saying? But understanding right now, there's an army of, I call them light bearers, that are being activated throughout the whole world. Kind of like you, Joe. Okay. And basically, everybody has to go to school very quickly now and connect with Creator. Part of the deception, listen, all churches are not bad. All pastors are not bad. There's some beautiful pastors, but it's like anything. I don't care what it is. Okay? You got good and bad in everything. So how do you figure out what is what? There's only one way, through discernment. All right? Not somebody telling you, but you got to feel it in your heart. Right? And you get that understanding about that. And I'm a type of guy that no matter what I've been shown, all right, some things are horrific that I believe, but I still have hope in my heart, because I know that with every choice a human makes, that it changes a timeline. It does. And you've already said that it looks like some of these are getting exploded. And I said, that was one of the huge validations that I need to see happen. If I see the bigger ones explode, that means they're using the technology. But the thing is Joe,
as far as
they're not going to be, they're not going to be able to stop. They're not going to be able to stop them all. And it's all the little ones that will really create the problem. But in my heart of hearts, I don't believe it's the end of the world. And you know what? If it is, then I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
right?
everyone over at Richard's Best Spirits in Town, the Afterlife drink place.
Absolutely. When you cross over, you just ask those tall dudes, go, where's Woo dude? Okay? And they're just going to have a sign pointing.
They'll go,
just like that.
He's that way. Like Bugs Bunny.
Woo dude's really popular right about now. Yeah, because they took us all out. We're coming in like rogues. But what I really believe is that certain people are being activated right now and being lit up, is the way I'm going to say it. And by going through the protocols, like what you've been doing every night, this will get us on the same wavelength, so you can get the messages, so you can have the understanding of these things. And it's very important going forward, because this is going to be like a ship steering in fog. And you need to navigate around these things. It doesn't mean it's the end. Like they said, don't you ever give up. All right? Because they snap a finger and you're pulled out of it. So you keep hope in your heart. And you go forward. You don't dig a hole and go jump in it. That's just stupid. Okay? and keep your wits about you right now.
And don't go on any treasure hunting journeys? Like,
I'm sorry. I know you keep asking me. Yeah,
I know.
It's like you think like I had the power to make that decision or
Yeah.
something, and it's like no.
Probably not the
But
best decision right now.
well, well, it was right up there with getting a bus with the American flag and Trump on it and going to Mount Rushmore. Spirit's looking at me going, we can't let Joe do that.
Yeah.
You know,
Not a
but
good idea.
you have to. That's what they said. But we can't stop him. But nothing saying you can't. So I had to word with you, and thank God you didn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, and a few of these things you look back on and you go, "Holy mackerel! I'm really glad I didn't do it."
Yeah, imagine
Yeah.
any time I take that bus out. Like, if I had that thing,
Oh my God.
oh, let's go to our little property place where we ride four wheelers over the weekend. I got to stop at a grocery store on the way and park in the back, where big spaces are. I might come out and the thing's destroyed. From some hater. Oh, look at this guy with the Constitution flag and the eagle. Racist Nazi
Yeah.
spray paint on my thing. Yeah, they. And not to mention where
Yeah.
I, could have potentially went to go up the Mount Rushmore. Who would I have run
Yeah.
across? But they were already protesting right there in the street. Like,
Yeah.
Excuse
Yeah.
me, can I get through the, BLM
Oh, yeah.
power, BLM power. Yeah. You're saying that in that bus? Yeah, right. Drag him out of there, kick his ass. That's probably
Yeah.
what happened.
And and on top of it, this is before the crap hit the fan. And I told you, I don't know, it must have been in early March. I said, really pay attention around March 31st and going in, and that's when the crap hit the storm. But tell your fans where you were actually going to pick the RV up at. Where were you going to go?
Well, the
Was
RV
it-
was on the east coast of Florida.
Okay.
No, you're talking about the aircraft thing. The helicopter thing. You were talking. That's where you were. That was in Washington, Seattle, near Seattle.
You were gonna, yeah. That was another decision. You were gonna go to Washington again. Your timing was impeccable.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, you gotta hold off on some of this stuff. But hey, we just go forward, be very smart, and pay attention to everything. And when you're getting signs from Spirit, pay attention. Pay attention. And you, young man, young Wookie, you've been getting some pretty good dreams, haven't you?
Yes, I have. They've been showing me all kinds of stuff. But
Yeah.
like I said, I had a dream recently. I told you about it. I haven't told anyone else because I didn't think it was that important. But I was basically fighting off like a werewolf. Like it was in the dog form, and man, this thing was just going after us, and we were trying to chase it, and this big battle was happening. Finally, we killed the damn thing and defeated this thing. And I said to you, "Oh yeah, I just probably just some silly dream." And you're like, remember what I told you? When you go into dream state, you might be in another reality actually doing stuff. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah, you did say that. And I'm like, all right, yeah, okay. So maybe I'm doing some work over there on the other side. So that was kind of interesting. And then I just keep telling myself, all right, going forward, when I go to bed, close your eyes. You're listening to a little drumming music and stuff, and concentrate on pulling the lighter out of your right front pocket. And I'm like, guides, is tonight the night? Like, you gonna let me do this tonight? And not yet. Not yet. But I know we'll get there at some point. That'll be a major, I think, ground break, or breakthrough, whatever, for me. Like you said, because once you do that, now you're able to not just basically witness a dream or be a part of the dream that you don't really control. You can actually go and do shit. I'm like, oh, cool. I think I'll go to your house and put a suction cup handprint on your new house window. Like, shh, don't tell them it was me.
Yeah. Many years ago, I used to do a lot of teaching down at a place in Londonderry, New Hampshire Metaphysical. And down there, I used to teach a lot of journeying. And we do drumming circles. And the biggest thing that I needed to teach people is when you journey to the other side, that it's 3D. It's not like you're looking at a vision or looking something in front of you. But the key to it is that I would make my students, while they're journeying with me and crossing over, I would be there in spirit too. So I would see everybody, which is mind boggling. And then I would ask them, I'd say, now that you're here, I want you to look around. What's down at your feet? Do you see that? Do you see that rock? Do you see that jewel? Whatever it is, I pick it up, hold it. And then they would. And I'd bring them to different places, okay, through consciousness. And they were fully aware because they see me over there. And then I would direct them, you go down here, you go up there, and you're going to meet certain people. You know, and we do this. When people come back, they're like, what the heck happened? Because it's mind-boggling. It's kind of like where I'm trying to bring you, Joe, is when I flew down to meet you in your dream, all right, and we went to the cave, the whole key is I wanted you, I think hold that thought, Joe. I got to leave the room and plug in some earphones.
Oh, okay.
Hang on 1 second.
No problem.
We call that technical difficulty.
It's just you and I, guys. Just the two of us. You and I. Yeah, we'll start taking some questions, I think, in a little bit. But we're not going to get into like specific crypto questions. I'm not going to do that. We're not going there. But maybe we'll grab some stuff out of the comment section there from people and see if he can answer some stuff for you guys.
Can you hear me okay, Joe?
Yep.
All right, awesome.
Yep.
So, so your dream is I was going to go in and visit with the shaman with you, and I was going to let you have the chance to do it. But then you called, you said, whoa, dude, get back here. And I said, Joe, take the lighter out of your pocket. And I can't remember, I think I said, Joe, it's blue. It's blue. And then when I talked to you about it, you said, hold on, woo-woo, dude. And you run off into your room just for curiosity. And you have a lighter there that you've been using to either light candles or whatever. And you said, you got to be kidding me. You can't make this stuff up. It's a blue lighter. Bingo. And when you can start controlling that, okay, it's no different than my students when I'm teaching them how to journey. All right, that you will interact with people. Like I can visit you there. All right, we can go on the adventures, but the thing is you can leave this plane. You could go into other dimensions. It's almost like a remote viewer does, except on steroids. Okay, and you're able to go in and out of these things, and it really is amazing when you get this ability to do it. And you're like, so you're knocking at the door. You're like knocking out the door. Yeah, I mean,
I like to say I'm knocking on heaven's door.
That's very well put.
It is, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm telling you, folks, the Creator is real. All right, and they love us. They want to help us. But to be on the same frequencies of them, we have to adjust things because of all the things that are happening around our planet. As I've been telling people, they're showing me these strings and things, and they're saying it's electromagnetic. And this is what's interfering with the minds of these people that are doing what they're doing. I mean, I saw some crazy people screaming, saying, give us your house. You need to leave your house and give it to us. I go,
yeah, I'll be right there. I'm like, hey,
What?
hey, woo dude, thanks for the spirit guys. Help me pay my house off with crypto. I'm gonna go ahead and give it away to one of these BLM guys.
Well,
Antifa, here you go.
but the thing is, Joe, you got to look at it and go, that's freaking insane.
Yeah,
And then what Spirit said is they are. And what's happening is they're being affected in their brain by electromagnetics. And what's happening is these people are on the verge, or they're completely bipolar at this time, and they don't realize it. I mean, to act and do what's happening, some people are really provoking it and making it happen, but then all the followers, I mean, really, they're not, they don't have the sanity there. It doesn't even make sense. But understanding is they're really being affected. And so us, I will say light bearers, people of truth, okay, that are trying to do good in this world, not burn down neighborhoods,
yeah.
and that really care about every single life. Everyone's precious in their own way. And when you sit there and you look at this stuff, you got to know something is affecting them. And this electromagnetic stuff that's happening is what's also creating these horrific storms that you're going to see. And you think those little icebergs they were holding were something, Joe?
Yeah, let me just say, was this yesterday? I believe it was yesterday. I had to take my daughter's cat to this vet lady and that we actually bought her from, and she had to give her some antibiotic stuff or something. So I'm driving back with my kid and her friend, and it starts raining. Now, of course, I've been in Florida for, I don't know, since 1981 or something.
Wow.
I lived in San Diego for, was born there, and then we moved to Florida a few years later.
Aren't you glad you're out of San Diego?
Oh boy, yeah. Tell me, I have to drink my own medicine. Get the hell out of California. But I've seen every kind of storm out here that there's ever been. I've been through, hurricanes to regular just, holy crap, it's raining. Oh, whoa, that's a real big downpour. To, I think yesterday, I would have to describe what I went through. And it wasn't like, because in Florida, it's like there's downpour, then all of a sudden, oh, it's sunshine and the rain stopped, 2 miles ahead. Yeah. Or it rained for a few miles or whatever. Okay, fine. It was basically what Cliff High's data said, rivers in the sky, basically dumping down on people.
Yeah.
That's what I experienced for my first time ever in the state of Florida. And I was traveling on the interstate at speeds of like 30 miles an hour because you could barely see anything in front of you. And everybody was doing the same thing. And I've been through a little bit of where it's really bad like that. But it's always just for a little spurt or a little spot. This was going on for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. And then I get off the interstate and I'm going down the little backcountry roads towards my house. And it's the same. There's one truck in front of me, like a pickup truck. And I'm going to say he was probably a few seconds of, space in front of me. And I'm like, at times, okay, there's his brake lights. Okay, I can kind of see it, like it was unbelievable. So I almost did a video to say, you know what, guys, I just experienced my first rivers in the sky, atmospheric rivers, as Cliff High said, would be coming years ago. And as you've been saying, any and all kind of weather events are going to get crazier. And I was just, again, I just got massive rain. It was literally a river falling down in the sky. That's exactly what it was. And I'm thinking, man, imagine when those freaking hail, hopefully those two-hander hail things don't land over near my house.
Could you imagine that going through your windshield while you're driving?
Yeah, like you might as well throw a cinder block up and see what happens.
And can you imagine? Like the storm that happened today, and you showed that on your screen. They're just showing a few. Could you imagine thousands of those coming down at the same time?
Yeah.
Crazy. But this is also part of why I'm really been warning people to get the extra foods and things, and right down to shampoos something to brush your teeth with, things like this. Because I know everybody out there, if you go shopping at a Walmart or something, that you're noticing on the shelves that instead of having full shelves, is what we call in retail, they're fronting them, they're pulling them forward, and there'll be maybe one of each going straight across instead of having 200 of them. All right. What Spirit has been showing me is that the foods are being diverted right now. And a lot of it is being taken up by other officials. We need to watch what we say, Joe. Oh, by the way, everything that we say here is definitely a fiction novel.
Yeah, it's all fake.
That we've been working on. And if anything seems coincidental to you, that's all just a coincidence. So we need to put that in there right away. Okay. And no, I don't work for a travel agency. So if I'm trying to book something for people to get the hell out of town, no, they're not coming to me for that. All right. Now that we're legal on that end of it, I believe so many of us will make it through these trivial things. And the thing is it's everything that's going to be coming after another. It's like I told you 4 months ago, right when you take a deep breath, something else will happen.
Yeah,
and you go,
you said it's going to be, like kind of everything from politics to arrests to earth stuff, weather stuff, all around the same time frame. Whole lot to deal with in a small period of time.
Correct. And this is why you're also seeing, as Spirit showed me, the governments of the world, you're going to have some very aggressive ones. They know what's coming. They're even telling their people, by the way, didn't China just put up some signs saying, by the way, we want you to see where to go so you can get underground. This is happening everywhere, except here. Okay. I guess we kind of got to fend for ourselves. But these aggressive countries are hoping that whatever they grab, they're going to be able to keep after these storms are over. And when I say storms, I mean everything. All right. This could be a year and a half down the road. So right now, we're also living in a very dangerous time with some moron pressing a button or doing something very, very stupid. Because remember something, they're also being affected by electromagnetic interferences in their brain. So a lot of these people aren't even thinking right.
Well, I want to say this, and I've mentioned this story before on the mountain that we visit in New Mexico. And we were given a lead on this one area, and I knew where it was, so I said, let's go hike it, whatever. And then we got the rest of the details, and I said, all right, let's go down there. I'll stay up here, you, Dave, and JC, you go down there. And then I called Dave up to come help me with something, and then JC stayed down below. Well, he had the same exact experience then, which would have been, I think, November 2019, as I had in 2020, March, when I went with my daughter, and we hiked down to there where he was, and then further out, because I wanted to get near this one area. And again, I've told this story, but it's important because I want to make a really good point. I get to this one area I recognize with the drone. I'm like, okay, a little bit further down, there'll be another rock structure, and I can go to the right, and then I'll be able to look and see what it looks like on foot instead of the drone. And we get to that first one, just me, my daughter, and her friend, and all of a sudden, over my entire body, danger, stop, don't move. Your life's in jeopardy, don't move. I grab the pistol off my chest. I'm thinking, well, I feel like my life is in danger. There has to be something around here. Is there a mountain lion? Is there something? And I'm in a pretty wide open area. There's nothing hiding around anything. There's nothing really to hide on. And the kids are behind me. There's nothing wrong with them. They're fine. They're having fun. And I feel like I'm gonna die. I feel like I'm stuck down here. I'll never get out of here alive. This is the end. You're gonna probably have to call a effing helicopter rescue to get you out of here. And I'm thinking, I need to calm down and get my thoughts together, because this is just, I'm panicking and I don't know why. So I look behind me and sit down on this rock, take some breaths, and just calm myself down. Why are you thinking like this? You've hiked this kind of shit before. This is nothing. Look up there. You can actually see where your car is from here. You just got to go back up the way you came. It's not a big deal. I'm telling myself. Yet I feel like I'm never going to escape. Like, I'm done. I get back. I tell JC what happened to me. He couldn't believe it because he had the same exact experience back in November. Identical. He had to also sit back on a rock and calm down. And he didn't tell me or Dave at the time. I guess, he just thought he was having a little issue and didn't care to tell us. So, because it happened to him and because it happened to me, something shared that with us that's out there. Maybe somebody perished out there and, hey, this is what they went through as they were dying or whatever. It was so powerful, and this is the point I'm making. I thought, until I talked to JC, that really was me. I had a little panic attack, and I got through it, but it could happen again. I didn't know it was somebody else giving me empath, whatever. And that's how I experienced it. I thought it was so powerful, it was me in my own brain arguing with myself. Like, dude, calm down. Why are you thinking that? So if something could do that to me and JC, and we both thought it was us, I can only imagine interfering in electromagnetic fields with certain people, what they could literally do, make them do. And that's why I wanted to tell that story.
Well, it's real, and I always like to put a little humor into some things. Mountain lions are no jokes. Did you ever read that incredible book? What was the name of the book now? Attacked by a Mountain Lion?
No.
It was written by Claude Balls.
Claude Balls.
You got to bring a little humor in once in a while.
Claude Balls.
Now the thing is Joe, is you all felt that. Now, Dave was there too?
Dave was there, but he never had any idea. With JC, it was me, him. But when I was with my kids, it was just us. He wasn't there. But JC has not. I mean, Dave has not had an experience like this to himself. I'll say, and maybe I'll say yet, because maybe he's
say
next.
Yet. Yeah. Actually, is that the same Dave that I actually read?
Yes. Yeah, I talked to him the other day and told him. I said, woo dude, didn't know he was reading you. He just knew knew some guy named Dave that knows me, like everyone else knows me on YouTube.
Right. Yeah. And actually, Dave is a very special person. Okay. And they got some neat stuff for him. So if Dave is listening, baby, you better pull your boot pants up, because they got some good stuff for you.
Now, I think you've been telling him about the song stuff too, right? To listen to.
Oh, well, the thing is what Spirit tells me is not to search for people to do mediumship or reading with. That they will send me the old souls, and my job is to help them listen to each one of them and understand what's going on in their lives and what they really need to do, but to connect with Creator, because this is a real important time, Joe. Okay? The light bearers have got to make it through this and usher in the new stuff. And if we can all make it through this, it's going to be really incredible. And that's the hope. Hey, like I say, the worst that'll happen is you guys are going to pull up to my pub, and you're going to say, hey, this is where woo-woo dude, this is his pub. Yeah, all right. Yeah, and I'll come in and I'll have a cold beer sitting for you, and I'll say, who's ready for the next adventure? Okay. But, try to stay really positive, everybody. Okay? You don't have to be rocket scientists to realize there's something happening here, and it's very, very big. People don't get locked into Cheyenne Mountain 3 or 4 months ago. Okay? I wonder if they're wearing masks.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet.
Okay? So the continuity of government is huge. So they know there's some issues happening, but the problem is timing all of it. And this is why the financial systems. Everybody's trying to keep it together. Okay? So this way, when they make all the changes, it'll be ushering everything going forward. And this is all timing. It's just, can we do it? Can we keep it going? Can we keep it going? And this is why they say, give them more money. Give the people more. It just doesn't matter anymore. Print 100 trillion. Who gives a flying?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter. That's not going to exist anymore. It's got to be a new paradigm.
And we just got to get through to that paradigm because it's gonna be great. So like Wudu told me, I'll tell you guys, you know what? I'm not telling you not to protest, but honestly, let other people do it. Let other people do it. You stay put, watch it on YouTube, watch it on TV, Twitter, wherever you go, and just sit back. Because, it only take one idiot out there with a gun or whatever to you're carrying a sign or shoot him.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So
no.
just chill, like Jay Snip. I'm chilling around the house and waiting, like Woo Dude always tells me, Joe, the train's coming by. It's going by fast. Don't step in front of the damn train. Step back, let it go by. And then when it goes by, okay, now you can cross the tracks, right? So same advice to you guys. Don't get anything crazy. Don't go out pissing people off. Again, people are there are people out there right now who don't know or think like what we all do, okay? They may be super panicked in their mind. You don't even know it yet. And then you just rub them the wrong way. And the next thing they know, is, they're attacking you or who God only knows trying to kill you or something because they've lost in their mind. It's the world's ending anyways. And it's not worth it. So again, you got to just chill, let this thing go by, whatever it is, which it's going to be a bunch of things, obviously. And, again, hopefully I have faith that it's not going to be here for a long time because everything is so fast, digital, everything, electricity, like shit happens fast. I talked to so many people, man, we're already in August 2020. No way. Yeah. Actually, we're almost in September. Oh yeah. Dang. Wow. We only got a few more months left. Holy crap. So this
time compression.
Yeah. Like you've said a bunch of time compression. It really feels like it.
It is. It is happening. It's a strange anomaly. I don't understand it. But the key is when you see these people wearing masks, okay, don't look down at them, okay? Have pity for them.
Yeah.
All right? Understand. They're really afraid. And you got to have compassion to that and respect it.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll tell you all something else. With the mask. Because of that, I always tell myself, Joe, these people don't know. They don't know what you know. Right. And if you go into these stores without your mask, even the stores that will let you in, like Public Supermarket, are you causing panic and fear and a whole bunch of sheep by doing so?
Right.
Probably. At least some of them. Is it worth, put my thumb on someone else's neck while the government has their boot on their neck right now?
No.
I take the mask and I rip out that little white thing in the inside, and you can breathe through it really easy. No one bothers you. No one looks at you crazy. Okay, put it on. Everybody's happy. So I said recently to myself, because these people don't know, it's not their fault, and the businesses too. Oh no, I don't care what the government says. You can't come in without a mask. They're like panicked, and I'm like, it's not their fault. If somebody lies to somebody else and they believe it, why should I be mad at that person? Especially if I try to convince them. How am I going to ever convince them? Well, the World Health Organization said this, the NIH said this, the CDC said that. Who the hell are you? Oh, I'm this right-wing conspiracy theorist on the internet. Believe me, So I do, like I said, I have pity for them. And rather than upset more people and make them already more stressed than they are, I'm like, you know what? Because I was heading to Publix today. And halfway from my car, I was like, I forgot the mask. Oh, but I don't need it in here. No, I'm going to turn around and go get it. I turn around, go get in the car, put the stupid thing on, let's go. I don't want to, I want my rights, I know what's going on here, but I do care for everybody else too. And I'm like, they've been lied to. They'll wake up when I guess it's their time. But for now, I'll just put my little, rigged version of my mask on and just go. I don't want people being stressed out. It's not,
Right.
it's not their faults, and that's what I keep telling myself. It's not their faults. It's not their faults. And I always thought, one of these stores give me a hard time. I'll sue them for. I'm like, no, you won't. No, you won't. They don't know. They're scared because of what the government. Yeah, okay, yep. And then I'm like, okay, shut up, idiot. Go in the store and put your mask on. So that's what I do because I don't want to cause any problems with these people. It's not about my rights. I already flexed my muscle. All right, I got into 4 stores without it. All right, fine. But
I was impressed. I saw that YouTube. I said, he's going in. You go, Joe.
yeah.
But,
So, anyways.
I had to go into one of my favorite banks. You notice I grit my teeth. I'm going to give them a plug. How's that? TD Bank. Love them. And I noticed that 2 of my ATM cards, one for business and one for personal, I'm going, oh, they're going to be no good after October. I'm going, So I went in. Now this was hilarious. This is how messed up things are getting. So I go make my deposit outside, and I said, can I come in? Yeah, they'll let you in. So I go around the front of the building, and there's this guy sitting there with an iPad outside at a table. And he said, can I help you? I said, no, they're going to help me inside. Oh, no, we got to check you in. I'm looking around. I says, I am the only one here, right? So he has to check me in, right? So I'm standing at the door. Nobody in there. Joe, nobody. And I'm going, really? You can't open up the frickin' door until you send me a text? Joe, I was losing it.
Yeah.
So I finally get in there, right? So I'm sitting down with the guy, and I says, he goes, what? I go, he goes, what? I go, oh, you can't hear me well? So the guy's just looking at me, right? I go, wait a second. I said, is this legal? So I took the mask and I brought it down so my nose is out. I said, all you guys are concerned about is me coughing, correct? He goes, yeah, I guess. I said, okay, so it's all right if I breathe through my nose and I'm going to grab all your viruses and stick them up my nose. I have no problem with that. But I won't cough on anybody. But now I can at least breathe. And he starts laughing at me. I go, you realize how insane this really is, right? And he goes, yeah, but, I'm on camera. So I said, do you have a real protocol how to put that on? He goes, I'm not sure about that. I said, well, think about it. I said, it's tough wearing glasses, isn't it? They all steam up. So the guys go, yeah. So I go, what's really funny? I said, to walk into a restaurant, you got to wear a mask.
For 5 seconds.
Right? and then you go to sit down, you can whip the mask off. Oh, what a smart virus. Now that you're sitting, I will not attack anybody. Yeah. I will sit here with you.
Yeah, you've done the protocol, you are safe.
It's like, okay. Listen, if I asked a 4-year-old if that made sense, I would say the 4-year-old would say, no, Daddy, that don't make sense at all. Okay? And you're watching this, and you just, like, but Spirit tells me, they say, listen, not all of them are supposed to wake up for this. Okay? Only certain ones are supposed to get out of this and to the other side there. And they said, it's not your job to convince anybody.
Yeah.
Not now. If they come to you, that's a different thing. But you don't have to search them out. And Spirit said, leave that to us. That's our job. It's like, okay.
Yep.
So get yourself the biggest bowl of popcorn.
It's too late. Yeah, it's too late now anyways. Like,
no,
that train has already passed, actually. See ya.
It's just there's a bigger one coming, Joe.
Yeah.
And when these guys are out there doing their thing, God bless them if these 8-pound hailstones come down. It's like you're on your own, man.
Yeah. Sorry.
It is what it is. But you know, you just look at these people, and these are adults, and it's like, does anything that I just mentioned make any sense at all? Anything? And I got to tell you this, Joe. Have you noticed that people that wear masks a lot, have you noticed that their voices are changing?
I
Absolutely. They're
don't, because I
getting
don't know.
raspy.
Yeah, I don't know anybody other than,
Oh,
like
I,
locally.
I,
No one wears no masks around here.
they sound like somebody who was smoking cigarettes
Hmm.
for 65 years.
You
Their
mean like
voice
after,
is
even after
very,
they take their mask off?
yeah, yeah. So it's damaging them inside. There's no doubt in my mind. And I'm going, how much time to October and November? Okay, remember what I told you months ago?
That's
I
right.
said, there's another one coming, and it's not a chameleon. Okay, now it's an iguana.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's going to bite a lot of people. But with everything else that's going on, it's like, really? you
Wouldn't be
know,
surprised. So we talked earlier about maybe taking some questions. Are you
Absolutely.
wanting to take questions, like as in you're gonna ask the guides to give you the answer, or you? This is more of a personal question to you.
Oh, I really don't care because they're with me all the time. So
So
it
if they
really
got something to
doesn't
say,
matter.
they'll just say it.
I can't shut it off. So
Gotcha.
it is what it is.
All right. So I don't know if he knows that. Someone just said, "Would you ask Woo Woo Dude about the objects in orbit around us at the moment, which are called the Nanny, Baby Core, Fast Mover, and Broken Arrow?" I haven't even heard about that.
I have no idea. All I can tell you is that what Spirit showed me is that, and I took pictures. I actually
Yep.
gave them to you, Joe. That there is. I'm just going to call them planetoids. They did not. Spirit didn't say, "Oh, it's Planet X," or "It's this," or they didn't. They just didn't. I'm saying the way it is, and I saw one. Okay, next to the sun. It was there. It's huge. But what they said is, understand, there's a big incoming field of debris, okay, and rocks. And then, after you go through that, you think, I made it through that. Then you're going to get some stuff on the tails of these incomings. And that's where the issue is going to start coming. But they said this is why, again, I wish I was a scientist, but they show it to me in a way. They said, this is why the electromagnetic, I hope I'm saying it right, fields, they showed me these energies around our planet are going bonkers because of these things that are in our solar system. And they told me that everything is pretty much electric that's out there. Again, I'm not a scientist, I don't understand it, and that it's interfering not just with our planet, but with all the planets. And this is why the storms are going to get incredibly worse than what we've ever seen. Earthquakes, I told you about the lightning was going to happen, and you've gotten some really good shots of that, but they actually showed me, and they said to me that plasma bolts would come down. I go, what the heck is a plasma bolt? I don't know.
Well, I guess we're gonna
But
find out.
then, yeah, well, I think we've already seen a couple here and there.
Well, that one in
Um,
China, remember that weird lightning bolt?
Yeah,
That might have been one
yeah.
of those.
So, and this is all with the incoming things and everything else that's happening. So, the person that you just said, what about this, and this? I don't have a name. They never have given me a name of what these are called, and nor does it really matter.
Right.
I get hit in the head with a baseball. You don't have to explain it's a baseball.
Yeah.
All I know is it hurt like
Or
hell.
signed by somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still a baseball. Let's see what else we got. And just FYI, I don't see any right now, but I'm not. We're not getting into like, tell me about this crypto. Tell me about that crypto. We're not, I'm not even. We're not doing that tonight.
No.
That's just not what we're doing. Um,
They need to go to your Patreon for that.
yeah, yeah. If you want that stuff, go to my Patreon/JSnip4.
I heard you're doing really, really good with giving some calls on some cryptos.
Yeah, we're working out some stuff over there. It's funny. You told me, you said, "Oh, wait till your subscriptions double," and I'm like, from where they are now, it's already good. They're like, I'm already really happy, and you're like, they just said double. I'm like, well, damn. Okay. I mean, who says no to that? I'll take it. Someone says a plasma bolt. Maybe something happened in the Grand Canyon also besides the China thing. I'm not sure if I saw that one. When will asks end, Joe? It's my line in the sand. Oh, I think he meant masks. Do you have any idea of when the masks bullcrap, at least maybe in America, might end?
Well, yeah, not for a couple of years. And I'm going to tell you this. You're probably going to need them, okay? For dust particles, ash, and things like this. So, you know what? Buy all the cheap ones you can and just tuck them away. The worst that can happen, you can use them as baby wipes.
Yeah, sound to me. Although maybe by that time Ian won't need them quite as.
Hey, if you can't go to Walmart and get toilet paper, you can wipe your ass with them. Yeah, no, I really believe they're going to need them. No different than when I told you ahead of time. I'm not going to say that to Joe. He's going to disown me. They said, you tell him to get some cheap masks, and you tell him now. Oh, shit. Joe, you need to get some cheap masks. What? I'm going, oh, my God.
And then I needed
Joe.
them 2 days later.
But you got them. You
I got
ordered them.
They came like Amazon showed up, and then I got them, and then that day was the second day.
Bango. You went, my God, there's a dust storm coming through Florida. Where the hell did this thing come from? And then they made it mandatory in your town.
Yeah.
You went.
Yep. Yeah, first it was the dust storm, and then that was like 2 days later or so.
Was that awesome?
Yeah, I was like, wow, imagine that. And because I said, well, I've got the N95s. You're like, no. Don't waste those. You don't need those. They're saying get the cheap cloth ones. I'm like, well, if I've got the better ones, why the heck would they want me to get the cheap ones? Oh, now I know why. You don't need that, powerful mask. Again, you walk around with those all day, you're gonna have trouble breathing.
Right.
But the smaller ones, and they do, they work for dust. I mean, when I go out 4-wheeling and stuff, some of these places, like in Florida, we've got this property that you can, it's like 20 square miles. You buy a piece of hunting property for $600-800, and then you have access to the whole property, even though you can never go to your property because it's in the hunting area. But you go 4-wheeling, and I mean, it's just miles and miles of trails and stuff. It's really cool. But when you're out there, if anybody's in front of you, even a little ways in front of you, and it's a drier day, dust is coming up. So people are out there with the little cloth things and the bandanas. So these cloths, like the cheapo ones we're talking about, the masks, they're good for that, actually. They're quite good for keeping the dust and stuff out.
Absolutely.
So that's what we may be dealing with, it sounds like. So it makes sense.
Yes,
Why they were like, no, don't get the N95s, get the cheap ones.
Yes, we will need them as we progress. And you know what's even better about them? When you wear them, they don't know who you are. So you blend right in with everybody.
That's right.
You know, when you're trying to be really smart, as a soldier, okay, I certainly wouldn't walk out in the middle with a couple of stars on my shoulder in Vietnam and stand up loud and heavy. Everybody salute me when they go by. It's more like, listen, asshole, don't salute me. I don't wear stars. And, you know, I really don't need to get fragged.
Yeah, you need to get sniped.
Well, when you're wearing a mask, you're blending in, but they have no idea who you are. So think of it that way. You don't want to bring attention to yourself at this time going forward, just kind of flow with the river. Like I tell people, it's a river of life. Get in your kayak and go downstream. Don't try to paddle upstream against the grain, because right now all it's going to do is get you harmed. Really
Right.
is. Just
Stick to the
let things
rivers and
progress.
the lakes that you're used to.
Yeah,
Wink.
yeah, yeah. I hear you. Yeah. Do you have another question?
Yeah, let's see.
So,
Um, so what else we got in here, people? When will roots and I think you meant riots and idiots stop? That's probably going to be here for a while too, I would imagine. But I mean, if Trump finally sends in the Marines or whoever to stop it, I would say it's probably stop at that point. Um, do you get a sense that the rioting will stop before the mask usage,
no,
so they may
no.
continue on for a while?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hate to even go down this road, but what they actually showed me is that we are at war now. Okay, and they are infiltrated here, and this is it. They're going to do everything they can to bring us down. All right. And if anybody says, "What do you mean we're at war?" I say to them, if I went to any downtown area and took photos, you would swear you're in Beirut.
Yeah.
And it's sad. It's heartbreaking to see this. But it is happening. And for anybody out there to say it can't happen in America, it's already here.
Sort of here, yeah.
It's just, are you willing to accept it and see and know what's going on? It is what it is.
Yep. So someone asked about that guy. I played the video earlier about the dollar, the flag, 1/3 burnt, left, whatever. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, again, understanding, I'm trying to use discernment from secondhand. If I was getting from spirit, that'd be a different thing. But what I'm going to give you on that is that the American flag is being burnt. Okay, in other words, it's being taken down. But when I look at the positive end of it, the whole flag was not destroyed. That's a positive thing. But I think he said 1/3 of it was burnt.
Was left.
Is that what he said? Okay. And then understand what I believe that would mean is that 1/3 of the people are still here. All right. And yes, the financial system is going to collapse, everything, but this is worldwide. Okay, this is not an America thing. I really want you to understand this. Okay, this is setting up the future of monetary systems. And believe you me, gold and silver is going to be real serious, but cryptos are too. It's going to be a combination of a lot of different things. But again, nobody knows what the landscape is going to look like. All right. After everything is said and done, it's going to be a tough time. But in my heart of hearts, I really believe it, that they're going to start letting loose technologies that I saw. They showed me these off-world entities, and they will work with humans, and they have technologies. It won't mitigate everything, but it could really make our lives a lot easier to go through these things. And my heart of hearts is, I believe that will happen. So again, I'm a cup half full.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's just who I am.
So you mentioned silver and gold.
I will never give up. Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
And
yeah.
I'll say,
oh my God,
you gave me some numbers, which I don't mind repeating for free.
Go.
Like you don't have to go for Patreon. Specifically with silver, do you remember those 3 different numbers you said about a stack of 20?
Absolutely.
So
you don't think I have some of those silver,
yeah.
silver vials?
So tell them what you got on that, if you don't mind.
All right.
Stack of 20 coins. 1 ounce coins.
Yeah. The first sign that they showed me, okay, was $10,000.
For a stack
roll.
of 20.
Right.
That's $500 an ounce.
And then I was excited with that. Actually, this all happened on a meeting with Saudi, and I was excited. I was
A reading?
what?
You said a reading with somebody?
And I said to some, yeah, I was doing a reading, and I said, listen, they're showing me that over on a table to your right. I said, you have some stacks of silver, and they said, how would you know that? I said, you can't hide this stuff from woo, dude, right? I said, but let me cheer you up. And that's when they said they just put a sign over one of your stacks, and I said 10,000. The person went, "You kidding me?" I said, "No, they never lie." I said, "Oh man!" I said, "They just showed me another sign." They said, "Well, what did they show?" I said, 30,000. And they're going, "Oh my!" I said, "No, there's another sign above that." And they're just sitting there. You got to be. I'm shitting myself. You know.
That's $1,500 an ounce, by the way. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then they showed me a sign of $50,000. I went, dude, we got to make it through this together, guys.
Yeah. Could you imagine having that and then, oh, sorry, I didn't make it. Like, we've been talking, I've been on this channel since 2009. 11 years now. Like, talking about silver and stuff for so long ago, watching the market, oh, it's going up, get crushed. Oh, yeah, I've been crushed. Okay, I'm not even going to look anymore because they're just going to keep doing this forever until they can't. And now they're at the point where they can't. And, you know, Cliff High's data, $1 moves, $2 moves, $5 moves, then a 20. We've had a $1, $2, and $3, actually it was a $4 move. And then we had a $5 move. Of course, the $5 move happened to be down, but it doesn't matter. These are all temporal markers for $20, and then even that's the temporal marker for $500 and $600 is coming. You know, that was the big thing. His thing was always the data shows 600. It's going to happen. Like, it's been in the data so much you could pretty much take it to the bank. It's just too much in the data. And so here we are where we see some crazy prices, you know, in recent times. And they're talking about this, you know, the end of the month, the options expire and all that crap. But some of the stuff I'm reading right now is like, okay, it'll be interesting to see how the shorters, you know, the short sellers of the market do right now. Because as soon as this one ends, this period of time where they need to, you know, offload their contract, whatever, because of the end of the month, they think a real big leg up is coming, like right after this. So, in other words, maybe another month from now, possibly. So, we'll see about that. But yeah, I mean, 10,000, 30,000, and then $50,000 for a stack of 20. That's basically, I think, $2,500.
Yeah.
for a $50,000 one. Like, and I'm just thinking again. I'm like doing the math in my head. Okay, I think I've got that many. Oh my God, that would be nice. But again, it may not be such a pretty world around us because turmoil is causing those prices to be what they are. But again, if we can just get by this, everybody, be smart about stuff. Don't get yourself in the situations you shouldn't be in. Have your food storage, have your stuff, so you don't have to go out as much as possible as things get worse. And just so everybody knows, when I go, like when I was at the grocery store today, and like I said, I forgot the mask. Let me go get my ass out of the car. I don't want to upset anybody. Went inside for my wife needs some tissues right now. We were out of tissues, and so I'll get a couple boxes of the stacks of 3 tissues, and then I'm down that same aisle. Like, oh well, every time I come here, I'm grabbing extra, usually paper towels and toilet paper, because that was the first thing that got cleaned off the shelves. And I'm like, let me just grab an extra roll or 2. They'll let me take 2 now. Okay. No more signs up there saying you can only take 1. Okay. I'll take 2 up there. So every time I go to the grocery store, no matter what I need, and we certainly don't need more toilet paper or rolls of paper towels, but I'm grabbing them. Paper towels, not so much, but toilet paper is the big one. You know, you could make do with a freaking rag or something. You know, you don't even have to have a paper towel, but I'm just making
That's masks.
What's that?
That's masks.
What masks?
Dust masks.
Oh, yeah.
You know the masks?
Yeah. Yeah, while you're there, actually, I've been ordering mine on Amazon and stuff, but we have 2 of the 200 boxes, I think, or I don't know if there's 50 or 100 in a box, but, you know, I still got my N95s if I ever have to use those things, but again, I don't want to be walking around with those on. I don't think we'll have that bad of an issue.
No.
I don't think anyway, so.
No.
Let's see. Any reason given for the rise in value? Well, yeah. Is any reason for the rise in value? Is it medical? Is it energy? A strategic
A-
metal? A lot of things.
a- Actually, all of that, what Spirit showed me is going to be great use for silver in the future for technologies. And the thing is I know a lot of people are confused. Well, you're not going to be able to use silver to trade back and forth as coinage, but countries will use it to back currencies, okay, and back cryptos just like gold. And it's so funny. People say, "Wow, I would have to have so much silver." I said, "Hold on a second. An ounce of silver is the same size as an ounce of gold." And I'm going, if it's 5,000 bucks a pop, you really don't need a whole lot of it, right? So it's all relative. You're just
Right.
looking at it in the wrong way. And again, it's called, we just got to get through this horse shit. And mankind, humankind, need to come together. We need to work together. And I really believe if they release the technologies, this would solve so much for humanity. With all these countries, they don't even have running water.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Gates will be there to shove something in their ass and kill them.
Yep.
Where if they just gave them clean water, it would solve so much. And they have the ability, because they showed me the technology, to take moisture out of the air and create water with it. My gosh. Would that be handy with rivers of water going around where you could actually take some of it out and turn that damn lake into a stream? Yeah, I would think so. So, like I said, I'm really going towards the technology end of this. I really am. And if this comes true, boy, you're going to have a lot of fans that are going to be wealthy.
That would be. I used to say that. I think it's been a while since I said it. Actually, it's, at least a year or more, where I said, if I look back when I look back one day at my whole thing on YouTube and all the stuff that I've talked about and telling people about silver especially and cryptos, all that stuff. Like I think, man, if I just look back and realize, like, oh my God, this is actually the numbers, or this is what happened with silver, with crypto, whatever. It's already over. We now have a historical record, and I'm going to sit back and go, oh my God, how many people did I actually help by sticking to my guns through even the worst parts of this shit?
Yeah.
And just staying there because I believed in it so much and convinced people also, not that I'm getting paid by them, it's just them listening to me. And I saved their lives financially somehow or in some other way. Like, talk about, like, that's enough legacy for me to be very happy with, that I just did this for waking people up on YouTube a long time ago and keeping my channel going to keep talking about this stuff. And
Yeah.
even when people are like, oh, stop talking about crypto, Joe, go back to the news, go back to that. And they'd reach out to me, man, I'm glad you didn't, you kept going because I see it now. And I bought my first, Bitcoin or whatever it was. I'm like, all right, cool, all right, good. Because one day that may help you out a lot. And, you'll have me to thank for it, but I don't need the thanks. Like, I don't need someone to pat me on the back, honestly. I just,
Right.
like, I feel like I'm just doing, my job, so to speak, for humanity. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. So I'm just doing it. Like I said, I'm not getting paid on YouTube anymore. I was making a good amount of money. Once again, it started creeping back up again. I was like, oh, this is not bad. Plus Patreon, hey, this is great. And then YouTube goes, no, sorry, we did a random review of you and a whole bunch of right-wing conspiracy Republicans at the same time, and we took away your money at the same time. Completely random, of course. And I'm like, damn, that was a chunk that's going away. But my Patreon was doing pretty decent. I'm like, well, it'll be okay. And then all of a sudden, more people, during a time when I thought I'd be losing people because of Corona and job loss. And I'm at an all-time high right now, which is beyond me, to tell you the truth. And I'm like, wow, that door shut on me. And Spirit, or Source, God, if you will, opened a double door. And even one of those doors was bigger than that door that closed. And I've got a double door open now. Where one door closed, a couple more big ones opened. And I'm like, wow, how awesome is that? Like, just incredible to see that happen. My friend Bill had messaged me earlier. and he's like, "Hey, ask him about this. It's about our dig site actually." He said, because when I went there, me, JC, Dave, and JC's girlfriend Sarah was there. She's the one that laid back on the big rock thing we're trying to dig under, and she just kind of went out, and was inside the mountain, and she said she saw these big, tall, like light beings or some kind of being, and they handed her that cube thing we talked about, and
The cube.
yeah, the cube, and said, give this to the guys. And so she's like, oh shit, the guys aren't even here with me. Where am I? She kind of freaked out, but then she came back too and told us what had happened. So his question is the inner Earth beings at that site in New Mexico, and if it's not inner Earth, is there some other name, or is there something or not?
I will not call it inner Earth beings. What I'm going to call it is beings that are on this plane that have not left, even though they're on the other side. They're still there and understand. Again, I wish I was a scientist. One of the things I learned from them is that all dimensions, they gave me an analogy of a layered cake. All dimensions are layered on top of each other, but yet they take up the same space, okay, in the same time. Again, how do I wrap my nut around it? All right. So understand that you're there, and you know there's other civilizations that were there, but you're there at that time. All those other civilizations are there also at that time. Wrap your nut around that, okay? But they're in different dimensions. But it's all happening at the same time. And this brings me up to Cliff High. With the things that you've been bringing forward on that, I asked Spirit about that. And what they told me that he's actually doing with his web bot, okay, is he's tapping not into the internet, that he's tapping into consciousness. All right. And the reason that he's so far off, okay, on timing is no different than a very good medium or a psychic that has a hard time with timing, because it's hard to figure that one out. And so Cliff has created this frickin' device that is tapping into consciousness. And that's frickin' awesome. Okay? But his timing is just off. But with what you've been bringing forward over the last few weeks to a month, the shit's happening. Okay?
Yeah.
To the frickin' T of what he might have picked up 5 years ago, but he's grabbing it out of consciousness. Freaking amazing. It really is. It really is amazing. It's cool.
Yeah. See if we got any more, because it's we've been at this for probably.
Oh my!
It's been a while. Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. All right. Why don't you pull up maybe one more person, and we'll call it the night.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Will there be cures for cancer and diabetes?
Absolutely, 100%. The machines that they showed me, again, I wish I was a scientist, but I saw them, and they were making these strange sounds. People would lay down, and it would go across them up and down, and then they just get up, and they're healed. So it's some sort of a technology that uses either vibrations or sounds to heal the human body. So absolutely, that's what I'm saying. If we just get through this horseshit, oh my God, the stuff that we'll see is just fantastic. So I'm pretty psyched about that. So yes.
Now, I'll ask a question for myself, because I want one of these damn things. You already know what it is. And I'm hoping that Spirit can tell us is this company going to make it through so I can have one of these damn things? The Black Fly helicopter thing. Do you think they'll get through this and start producing some, and maybe I could get one?
Well, Joe, even if they don't, the neat shit that they're going to have, you're going to go, screw the Black Fly, dude. Look at this thing.
Yeah.
Not only can I fart around here, I can go interstellar.
Yeah, that'd be kind of that'd be slightly okay. I'd be slightly okay
You
with
think?
that.
Because you're all about you are the little kid at the register with his parents and stay away from the Snickers. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Grab a
Let me
Snickers.
just have one.
Oh, you had to get the king size, didn't you? Well, you know.
With a pack of Twizzlers. You never know. Emergency rations.
All right, everybody.
But,
So we've been at this for a while, so we're gonna cut it, and maybe till next time when we decide to do another live stream, which we don't really have a pattern. It's just like, hey, you want to do one? Yeah, okay, yeah, it sounds good. How about Thursday or Friday? Whatever. All right, let's do it. So we were just talking just a couple days ago. We're like, yeah, that sounds good. Let's do it.
Let's
Friday.
have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's have fun.
So hopefully YouTube will see this one. Okay, he's not impersonating himself again. You know, we'll not strike him down. This one was okay.
Listen, I need to bow my head in silence. Woo Woo Dude has a strike against him.
Yeah, it's your fault, you little bastard. It was you. not my first one.
I told you they were coming for you.
Yeah,
though,
you told me
over
way in
a
advance.
month ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you said, Joe, you're like almost across on the line. You're right there at the line, and they're kind of deciding about what they're gonna do with you. You're like, yeah, I guess I'll just try to tone it down. You know, I'll try not to be too controversial on some of the shit they don't really want us talking about. There's so much of it everywhere else, anyways. Do I really need to rehash it? Probably not. So
yeah, no.
Try to tone it down on the Snip channel for a little while. So
you've been doing well at it.
Yeah. Give our little disclaimer. Don't believe anything in this video. Not one word we said tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Don't believe anything. It was completely made up out of our monkey mind. We're being affected by those electromagnetic pulses too, and it's just caused us to talk about weird woo-woo stuff tonight. That's all.
Yeah, I'm really close to the magnetic field of my computer. So
I can see the little electrical things through your glasses.
Can you see that?
The little ball. You got one of those little balls? Those little electric balls?
Do you see the halo above my head? I want to know if I still have it.
Oh, yeah. I can't tell from here.
I think that's a reflection of my white hair.
It's a 3D replica of itself on top, and in one of the other planes of existence.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
So, all right, everybody. We'll chat with you guys later, and well, till then, peace out, sauerkraut.